What is up, Dokkan player? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Blaze here. We are back with another Dokkan battle video. And today, before we start the video, of course, hope he's having a very good day today. So today, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the stats of Goku Black. Is he tougher than Omega Shenron from the Bird of the Shadow Dragons? I didn't do the first two stats for the bosses because unfortunately I was at work, so I couldn't do this here. But now I have the chance to actually do it. So we're actually going to take a look here at Goku Black. Now I do believe Goku Black is definitely up there as, definitely I would say in my opinion is more tough compared to Cell. And I would say he's probably arguably definitely much more difficult compared to Metal Cooler, I want to say also, and maybe Broly. But let's just take a look at his stats here. So when you're actually at stage number 1 against Goku Black, his stats are going to be 45 million. So less HP compared to like Cell. But his attack, his normals do 550, which is crazy. His defense is going to be 75k. He has damage reduction of 64%. And he attacks 6 times per turn. This is pretty interesting because even though this is only 2 stages, like, it doesn't really give you that much time to actually stack here. As far as his super attack, he actually gives himself more defense by 30%. And he does 1.540, well, basically 1.540 million, right? Or 1,540,000 damage on his super attack. Which does have a cooldown here as well, 5. So this is pretty insane because the crazy part, well, actually the good thing that's actually good about this super attack is that it's going to be a Ki Blast super attack. So you can nullify it with any characters like World Tournament Goku, Kai Goku can counter it, the androids can nullify it, or Dr. Zero and 17 can also, sorry, Dr. Zero and Android 19 can also absorb it here as well. So that's a good thing about a super attack, but it does do 1.54. And again, this is stage 1, so this is a very fast pacing event. So you definitely want to use items if you don't have your guard characters, or characters that can actually counter this here as well. Let's just take a look here at like the other characters, right? Let's take a look here at maybe Broly. Actually, no, let's actually take a look at our Cell. So Cell does 490 on his normals, and on his super attack, he does, of course, 1.3 million, which is almost 1.4 on his super attack. But he does increase attack by 30%. So I would say probably Goku Black and Cell are actually very similar. The only difference is that basically Cell does more attacks per turn. But Goku, he does basically the exact same thing, right? Like, he has 1.5 for his super attack, and his normals do 550, where Cell was doing how much? 490. So we actually 30%. I would probably say they're very, very similar. So yeah, I would say this is definitely much more difficult compared to Cell, because Cell was only 1 stage, and you can actually cheese it with a 170 lead with the androids. If you guys haven't seen that video. But this, running a 170 lead, I don't even think it's possible to see. But we'll try those attempts maybe during the stream. But yeah, this Goku Black, it hits really hard. Then you actually have your stage number 2. So stage number 2, you're against Rose. Rose has 55 million as far as HP. Attack is going to be 600,000 per normal. And defense is 90k with 66% damage reduction. He also does 8 attack per turns, which is 1 more than Cell. Even though he has less HP, you do have 2 stages with each 55 million. And how much was the other one? 45 million? So basically, Rose is at 110 million, or this entire boss battle is 110 million HP with basically 6 attacks per turn. And this one does here 8 attack per turn. So yeah, this is definitely stronger than Cell, or more difficult than Cell, sorry. As far as the super attack, this one is actually not a Ki Blast. Now, I thought at the beginning it was a Ki Blast, but because Zamasu, the freaking rat, is going to be basically holding you while he does his Black Kamehameha, it is not considered a Ki Blast, which I guess it kind of makes sense, but whatever, it is what it is. He does also raise attack and defense for 1 turn by 30%. And he also does here immense damage to the enemy, and his super attack damage is 1.68, which is basically 1.7 million, which is actually a lot higher compared to like the Metal Cooler Core event, DBS Broly. How much does DBS Broly do here? DBS Broly in his final stage does 1.2. Yeah, Goku Black is hitting like a truck. And then just for shits and giggles, does he hit harder than Omega Shenron? As far as his super attack effect, he does have AoE, Where's the super attack? 1.4. So he does actually hit harder than Omega Shenron. But I would say Omega Shenron from the Birth of Shadow Dragons is still much more difficult, just because you do have 3 stages and you actually have AoEs. This one right here with Goku Black, you can kind of get away with it because he only basically hits that one character. You have to make sure he's going to dodge, guard, or have very high defense. Or in this sense, Omega Shenron, he's a tough cookie, I would say, because you have to worry about multiple AoEs that do a lot of damage. The first stage, I would say, is nothing too crazy because you can take advantage of stacking, but you need the first stage to stack because once you get to like the second stage or even the third one, the AoEs are very, very deadly. So, and of course, Omega Shenron has more HP, so I would definitely say Rose is not harder than Omega Shenron, but I would say that he would probably be better or much more difficult compared to like the Metal Core Cooler. Right, because the first stage is a bit tricky when it actually comes to the super attack, but the thing is that the Metal Cooler army, you can actually debuff them, right? And also, their super attack is also, you can also counter it and dodge it as well. Rose doesn't cancel dodge, does he? No, he doesn't cancel dodge, so you can definitely bring dodge character for Goku Black. But the thing is that Goku Black in the first stage is hitting you really hard from the get-go. Which is pretty intense, and he attacks 6 times per turn. So, if your characters aren't stacking or guarding, like I brought the 8-year anniversaries on my like 3rd attempt because I already beat on the first try. But on my 3rd attempt, just trying out some different teams, the 8-year anniversary Z duos get cooked. Like this covers Rose's bases as far as a int boss. So, like bringing physical characters is actually very tricky, but. If they don't get at least 2 super attacks, you instantly die from this Goku Black. So, like, I would make the argument that this is definitely much more difficult compared to the Metal Cooler Army or Metal Cooler Core, just because you have 4 turns to fully stack up, and you can also debuff these guys so their super attack isn't as deadly, even though they actually lower defense. And I guess the one gimmick for Metal Core Cooler is that also, like, he does have this ceiling effect here, which Goku Black doesn't have or Rose have. But the thing is that, again, you can also bring characters who are very busted here, like the EZA Tech God Goku, right? Who has, like, basically, like, 90% damage reduction. So, that's kind of like a cheesy way. Where this one, you can't bring any, there's, like, almost no good defensive characters. I mean, there are, obviously, but they're still taking a lot of damage. Like, Vegeta and Trunks take damage. Piccolo takes damage, Bulma takes damage, World Tournament Goku takes damage. Like, everyone is taking damage against this Goku Black. So, I would definitely say he's definitely much more difficult compared to Cell, and then much more difficult compared to the Metal Core Cooler. The only thing I would say that's pretty good about, which makes things a bit more easier for this event, is that there's actually, you have more tries compared to the old school, because Broly and the Metal Core Cooler, all you have are 3 tries, where this one you have 5 tries. So, that's the pretty much good part about this red zone for these bosses. Now, is he stronger than Broly? Is he much more difficult than Broly? I would say I think they're toe-to-toe. They're pretty much equal. One of the reasons why is because Broly you can stack up, right? You have 2 entire turns to stack up. And at this point, this Broly is now not that dangerous. What's really dangerous is really just his second phase. If you're trying to do like a no item run, obviously. And one of the reasons why is because of his AoE damage, which is the most damaging, which is 840. So, this is really the only gimmick about this DBS Broly. I mean, he could double super, which is fine, but at this point, when you make it to the stage, the characters that you're bringing right now are going to be fully built up anyway, right? So, or you can have characters that can actually nullify his super attack because it is a Ki Blast, where for this Rose, right, there's no character that can actually counter because it is not considered a melee, and it's not also considered a Ki Blast. As you can see here for the Binding Kamehameha, there's like no icon. So I would say it's pretty much toe-to-toe only because Broly has a cheap AoE. But I mean, look at this guy. Turn 1, he is doing like characters with guard are taking like 90k, I want to say, or even like maybe 80k, 70k, depending on the dupe system. But you're taking a lot of damage from his normals. So this is why I would say this is probably toe-to-toe with Broly, just because you don't get that chance to really stack up your characters. So yeah, I would say this is maybe, arguably, maybe even or just slightly a bit more difficult to the DBS Broly. But I would say for sure he is, whatchamacallit here, definitely not as strong as the Omega Shenron on JP. Let's actually maybe pull up, let's actually go back here to the event here. Let's maybe pull up, just for shits and giggles, let's go to events, let's go to challenge. Let's maybe check out the Cell Max event. I mean, no, Goku is definitely much more difficult to Cell Max event, but let's just maybe take a look at his stats compared to Cell Max. So, if I can actually find it right here, what would Cell Max be? Oh, he's right there. Okay, so let's actually go ahead, open new tab. And I also say he would be definitely much more difficult or stronger compared to the Cell Max and the Ultimate Red Zone as well. Let's actually take a look at your stats here. The only gimmick for this guy right about here, you just have here 60 million, and then Super Attack Effect 1.8. How much is Rose? His is going to be 1.6. Alright, so Rose is in number 2 as far as the strongest hitting super attack from a boss, because Cell is actually going to be 1.8. The only thing is that this character, right, it's like, I would say these guys, actually, this is what I'm saying right here. Rose is tougher than Broly, for sure, absolutely, 100%, because the only gimmick is this AoE, but you can bypass it with Ghost Usher, Giant Form, Transformation. There's just a lot of ways to actually counter this character with all these new releases. But what makes this challenging for the Cell Max event is that he can seal your characters, and the only thing you can bring as far as an item is going to be a Sensu Bean. Now, there is like some gimme characters because of the extra boost that they get if you want to try and beat the mission, so they do extra damage. But if you take those characters outside of that, Cell Max is still a pretty tough event. So I would say that Cell Max is more difficult compared to Goku Black or Rose. Just because even though you have more turns to stack up, like the first 2 stages are pretty easy, it's not really a phase of you stacking your stature because you have so little HP that you can actually blitz through it and then just end up turn 4 or turn 3 against Cell Max, and then pretty much you have to like get the good RNG for his super attack and sealing also as well. Sorry, does he lock as well? No, sorry, so he doesn't seal, but he locks your rotation, was what I'm saying here. So that's pretty deadly. Locking a character rotation is really annoying. So yeah, I would say Cell Max is just a tiny bit more stronger or more difficult compared to Goku Black. Omega Shenron, definitely much more difficult. And then I'll definitely have this over Broly, and then definitely over like what's her face here? Metal Core Cooler, and also Omega. Like Omega Shenron is a joke right here. As far as the GT Ultimate Red Zone, he's a complete joke. But let's maybe also take a look here at Shenron, I guess we can also do. Just to see his stats as well to compare how he's going to look here. So Shenron, I don't think Shenron is that difficult, to be honest. Let's see here. So his super attack, yes, he does have AoE, which is 480, but yeah, super attack is only 1.3. He does lower defense. I don't, like, when he came out, I think a lot of players were actually able to beat this character, or this boss, pretty easily. So, yeah, I don't think this character is much more difficult compared to Rose. No. I would say definitely Rose was much more difficult. So, yeah, that's going to be my assumption for the Red Zone boss, the new stage here on both Global and JP. But let me know what you guys think about Goku Black and Rose. Did you guys find it difficult? Where would you rank them as far as the bosses for Ultimate Red Zone? And also let me know down below which team did you use to actually beat this event here, alright? So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button, sub for more videos, come down below, and hopefully I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!